computers is ever expanding, and the ability to identify and pick apart what the different parts of a computer do is a very valuable skill that may come in handy in the future. There are very few parts to a computer, although a lot of people like to think that there's a lot. It kind of intimidates trying to figure out how they work, but with a little bit of practice, it's really simple. In this speech, I'm going to tell you about some different parts of the computer and how to properly assemble them. Now, you're going to need a couple things first. You're going to need a tower, a motherboard, a CPU, some sticks of RAM, a graphics card, a power supply, a fan, a disk drive, and a hard drive. You also need a screwdriver, which is the only tool you should need for this. The first thing that you're going to want to do is unscrew the sides of this tower. You're going to open it up so that you can get to the empty box inside. You're going to check the risers and make sure that they line up correctly with your motherboard. After that, you're going to put your motherboard on the anti-static packaging that it came with. You're going to install the CPU, which in order to do this, you slowly grasp it on both sides and you place it inside of the slot. You push it with moderate amount of force, but Mike Dower from PCStats.com says not to push it too hard or it may break your CPU. The next thing you're going to want to install is the fan. You're going to want to take and find the place where it goes, and you're going to push it slowly so that it sits evenly on each side. This should go somewhere around the processor. You need to make sure that it clicks whenever you push it in. That's the hooks going inside so they can hold it in place. Then there will be two levers on the side that you can pull over and latch it into place. You need to do this on both sides to make sure that it doesn't move around whenever you're setting up your computer. Next, you're going to need to put in your sticks of RAM. This shouldn't be too hard because there's only a couple places where the RAM can go. There's where it sits. You need to line up the indent on the PCB with the little indents on the slots. You need to push it in and make sure that the hooks on each side click. If it doesn't go in with a moderate amount of force, you need to pull it out and make sure that you have it aligned correctly. After that, you can finally install your motherboard. What you need to do this is you just need to place it back inside of the tower, line up the risers, and screw it in place. Some risers do not need screws. It should be pretty easy for you to figure out which ones don't. After that, you can install the power supply and the graphics card. The power supply is quite easy. It just slides in. It hooks up to the motherboard, to give it power. There's a slot for the female end that you can screw inside, and then the wires connect to the motherboard. After that, you can insert your graphics card. There's a slot for that on the motherboard. It just fits right in. It's really easy. After that, you can work on your hard drive. Mike Dower from PCStats.com explains this very well. He says, first we need to ensure that the hard drive is set up to be a master device. With IED cables, you have two types of devices, your master and slave. You can only have one or the other per each cable. So you can't have two master devices per one IDE cable. You can have two slaves devices per IDE cable. In order to figure this out, there should be a diagram on the top of the hard drive that'll teach you how to properly set up the prongs in the back. So whenever you plug it in, it'll be a master device. If it's not on the top, it'll be somewhere else on the body. The cables will be in the back. Once you've figured this out, you take one end of the cable, plug it into the hard drive first. Take the other end and take the number 0 cable and plug it into the motherboard. This will leave the number 1 cable to plug the disk drive into. The next part you need to work on is the disk drive. You need to choose which slot you think is the most appropriate, then push out the placeholder. After that, you fit it inside. If your tower has rails, then you can just screw it in. It'll fit perfectly. It's normal. If not, you need to make sure that your CD drive is not recessed or sticking out at all. And then you need to screw it in to the faceplate. After that, you need to take the number 1 IDE cord from the motherboard and the hard drive. You need to plug it in. This will make it to where you can input your operating system. After that, you successfully built a computer. plug it in and see how it works. And then you can take the operating system disk and put it into the CD drive. This will lead you on from there. It'll be a simple setup. It won't be hard at all. So, as you can see, it really isn't that hard to set up a computer. It's better this way because you know your computer inside and out. It makes it to where if you want to make any adjustments in the future, you already know how to properly assemble it. That's all. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank Mike Dower from PC Stats. He gave me the information on this.